Project Hail Mary is directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller and stars Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace. Ryland Grace is a science teacher, although a little too smart to be a science teacher, so the government decides to ask for his help. Ryland discovers that there are particles on the sun that are killing it, that will endanger life as he knows it. But as he continues the experiment and through the works of other scientists, they find out that there is one star that is not affected by these particles. So now, reluctantly, Ryland goes up to space and has to find a way to solve this mystery. Let's not bury the lead here, ladies and gentlemen. This film is absolutely fantastic. I loved pretty much everything about this. And really, it comes down to, obviously, it's the Ryan Gosling show, but I do want to talk a little bit about the people that are behind this movie, which is Phil Lord and Chris Miller. The pairing of these guys have produced and directed and written so many wonderful things. Some of the more outstanding things being like the Lego movie, or more importantly, the Into the Spider-Verse movies. They have a really good grasp on how to make just like a fun, entertaining film that is digestible for anybody to see, and anybody can go watch these things, and it's going to be met with great humor, great characters, great storytelling. These guys are at the peaks of their powers right now. I think Project Hail Mary is a fantastic choice for them to have taken, because the source material, from what I understand, is well known and it's very popular with people, and it's a well told story. I did eventually buy the book because I do actually want to read it, and while it's based on it, there are things that are taken out of there to make it for a better film. However, I will say the direction they take with this is fantastic. I loved all the visuals with this film. It is absolutely insane how some of these scenes look. All the space scenes are like, it's breathtaking to watch at times. I really wish I would have seen this in IMAX. Unfortunately, I did only see this in Dolby, and while the imagery was cool, I felt like I probably could have seen a little bit more of the picture with an IMAX show. But nevertheless, I do plan on watching it at some point again for that, so I will get to that at some point. But man, like, I'm just sitting there in the theater at points. I'm just watching things happen. And like, there's scenes where, like, you know, he's in the astronaut suit and he's like looking out into space, or looking at, you know, a planet of some sort, and all these other things are happening, and I'm amazed. Like, it's insane how good this movie looks, and I just get real frustrated sometimes when I see stuff like this, because it's like you have movies from like Marvel or DC, or really any film, quite honestly, with a huge budget, the CG and all that stuff just doesn't look very good, but then you have this sci-fi film that takes place in space for like 95% of the time, and everything just looks great. I loved everything about how it looked. I thought that the colors were vibrant. I thought that even in the ship too, the lighting for everything, like, it really lit up Ryan Gosling's face really well. The color grading was really nice. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. And really, the heart and soul of this film comes down to Ryan Gosling. This is one of the better performances that he's ever had. I don't know if I'd say my favorite. I do like a lot of his other stuff. The Nice Guys is something that pops to mind fairly quickly. La La Land, especially, is another one that I think is absolutely fantastic. He's just a likable, charming guy. You can put him in almost anything, and this guy just comes to work and he brings his A game. This guy has some of the most extensive filmography in different genres I'd ever seen. This guy can do musicals, this guy can do action, this guy can do comedy, this guy can do intense drama. Like, there's so much to him, and he was the perfect guy to choose for this, because Ryland Grace is supposed to be like really smart, but he's also kind of like goofy and a little socially awkward and everything, and I don't know what it is. Ryan Gosling just perfects that to a T. I don't know how he does it, but he's so likable. He's so human in this. He's so... I just don't know. I think that Ryan Gosling is so fantastic in this film. And it's even more harder when he has to bounce off a companion that isn't necessarily a human, which isn't much of a spoiler because it's in the movie that he finds an alien life form that he works with. So to think that not only is it just him on screen pretty much the whole movie, but his companion piece, for the most part, is a walking rock named Rocky, which is so stupid, but so hilarious and very on point for this character, it feels like. The story is kind of unraveled to us through Ryland. You see him kind of wake up from being in the spaceship and he is not remembering what's happening at first. So it's fun to see how he discover things while we discover things, and it's hilarious how it kind of expands and like different things that he's doing to figure out what he's actually doing there, and then showing off his smarts even when he's talking to different people or experimenting on things to find out more information. I think that this is one of those few times I've watched it, and sci-fi's not really my thing. I don't know why it is. I think sci-fi is kind of like a touch and go situation as far as like it could be overly explanatory, it could be too complex, it could be too simple at times, all those things. I think Project Hail Mary does a great job of balancing those things where it's like it's not too complex, but it's not too simple, and it's told to us in a way that it's easy to understand. And obviously when you have a guy like Ryan Gosling doing the heavy lifting of that sort of, stuff to kind of aid us into this sort of like we're understanding what's happening now, I thought it was masterfully done. And with a runtime of like just over 2.5 hours, and supposedly the original cuts being even longer than that, I really enjoyed it, and I didn't really find myself kind of like looking at my watch a lot of the times. I saw maybe one time I looked at it and I was like, we were an hour in, and then at that point I was just ready to like progress through the movie, and I was just like, okay, I'm here, I'm with these guys. Nothing really stood out as like, oh, this could have been better for me. I mean, there's maybe one or two things that I would have, that's more spoilery, that I would have maybe liked to a different approach maybe, but for what it was, I thought that it was really good. In the end, Project Hail Mary is a movie about hope. It's about friendship. It's about partnership. It's about life. It's about celebrating those things. And it's hope, endless hope. I have very little complaints about this movie. This is a film that I went in expecting it to be good, and I got better than good. I got great. I got outstanding. I got amazing. I got fantastic. I got all the words that you can imagine. As someone that hasn't read the book, obviously there are certain people that do and find the book, to be better maybe or not, I don't know. For me, as someone that's never read it, going into this with an open mind for sure, but expecting it to be good, I got just that. And I think everyone should go out of their way to go see this film. This is a fantastic movie. This should not be lost on us, that this is one of the best movies that's come out this year, and honestly, would have been the best movie that came out last year. With that being said, I haven't given a rating for this film because this is a rating that I haven't given out in a little while. So here it is. I'm going to give Project Hail Mary 5 stars. Thank you guys so much for watching, and look forward to more reviews very soon. You can check down the links down below for all the socials that we have for Twitter, Letterboxd, and TikTok, talking about films and other things across the board, all there. Please leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you thought of the film. Keep those cinemas alive. Now we'll talk to you all next time.